GF brutally dumped me for a rich heir in a grand hotel, she sneered. You never deserved me. But she didn't know the hotel was owned by my dad. He gave me a black card to blow $1 million in a single night. Some things in life, you just can't have if you weren't born into them. Think about it carefully, Robert. Do you deserve me? Can a relationship bring food to the table? Just one of my clothes alone is worth your annual salary. What right do you have to claim you'll give me happiness? Wake up, Robert. This is the reality, not a fairy tale world where you can have things you're not worthy of. Please look at yourself in the mirror. The stunning Marilyn Quesnell was sitting opposite me, my lips trembling slightly. There were 2 days left until I would graduate from university. I had fantasized about spending the rest of my life with Marilyn but did not expect she had asked me out today to say all this. Do you know why I asked you to come here? Marilyn motioned for me to look around our surroundings. It's common for me to come to this kind of luxury hotel. But what about you? These should be the best clothes you have, right? Don't you think you are out of place here? This is my world, whereas your world should be 2 blocks away. The flea market there is more suitable for you. Marilyn's words were like a sharp knife stabbing into my chest. However, I was unable to refute her. That's right, I'm merely from an extremely ordinary family. But she, on the other hand, can easily purchase bags worth tens of thousands of dollars without even batting an eyelid, I thought. Sitting in such an environment, Marilyn was collected and at ease. Her gaze was full of confidence that came straight from deep within. On the contrary, I felt uncomfortable with everything. In fact, I did not even know how to call the server over. Looking at the Phyrexian food on the table, I did not even know where to begin digging in. This sense of frustration hovered over me. I'd never been exposed to these things before. For an ordinary university student like me, spending $75 in a karaoke lounge was already a high expense. A handsome young man walked to the table and spoke to Marilyn gently. All right, Marilyn. It's getting late. We should go back. The man was well dressed, and the Porsche key in his hand was particularly striking to me. The man helped Marilyn up gentlemanly, not even sparing me a glance the entire time. Meanwhile, my clothes, which cost less than $45 in total, looked laughable compared to the man's well-tailored suit. A smile appeared on Marilyn's exquisite face. Robert Zabinski, we are over. When Marilyn finished speaking, some people who walked by the table caused a breeze and blew out the candles on my table. The already faint light suddenly disappeared, and in the shadow, my expression could not be seen, nor did anyone pay attention to me. At this moment, no one would care about me at all. Marilyn took the man's arm and walked out of the restaurant. The eye-catching Porsche at the entrance roared as its engine was awoken. Though the candlelight went out, elegant music filled the restaurant. Several gossipy servers had long noticed what was happening at my table. After Marilyn left, a server, Helena Smith, came over and asked in a low voice, Sir, should I take these away? Marilyn's words were still lingering in my mind. I couldn't forget the disdain and arrogance in her eyes. What hurt me most was not her criticism but her contempt. It seemed as though my existence had nothing to do with her at all, and my life or death and emotions did not concern her simply because we were not from the same world. Seeing that I did not answer, Helena glanced at my cheap casual clothes and curled her lips. Sir, I'm taking these away, then, she informed me coldly. While speaking, Helena reached out to the plate in front of me. My head, which had been lowered all the time, suddenly raised, and I stared at the server in front of me with bloodshot eyes. My voice was somewhat hoarse as I questioned, Did I say you could? Helena was startled by my unexpected movement and subconsciously stepped back. I stared at Helena and continued interrogating. Did I say you could? Huh? Answer me. Did I say so? So this is your customer service? This is the customer service of a luxury hotel? My voice suddenly rose, and my bellowing attracted the attention of the people nearby. Most of them looked at Helena. In an instant, Helena was mortified. She had been receiving distinguished guests in such an environment for years, causing her to more or less look down on me, who looked poor. She immediately retorted, Why are you flaring up at me? Vent your anger at the person who dumped you instead. Since you didn't say a word earlier, why are you acting pretentious now? Look at your loserish self. It's no wonder she'd dump you. Ha! High-end? So this is the so-called high-end, huh? I laughed out of anger and abruptly overturned the table in front of me. High-end, my foot. Everything was scattered on the ground with an ear-piercing clatter. Helena took a few steps back in shock, and then sneered, Go on. Keep smashing. I'll see if you can afford to compensate for all of those. Did you think this is a place you can cause havoc in? Pantingly, I calmed down at once upon hearing the word compensate. I looked at the mess in front of me and thought, money. It's always about money. This server is respectful when facing others but wears that disdainful expression with me simply because I have no money. Marilyn also said those words and got into another man's car because I had no money. Security, come and keep an eye on him. Don't let him run away. Helena looked at me with a face full of ridicule. An hour later, I sat in the hotel lobby dispiritedly. Helena looked at me from a short distance away and snickered. The tableware and accessories on that table earlier cost nearly $1,500. She couldn't wait to see what my father would do later. Right then, 2 middle-aged men walked in from the hotel entrance. One of them was my father, Zachary Zabinski, and the other was Zidane Zimmer, Zachary's neighbor. Zachary was frowning, and his steps sounded especially heavy. Evidently, he was suppressing his rage. I immediately walked over and lowered my head. Dad. I was aware of the situation of my family. $1,500 was not a small amount to us at all. Noticing that my father had even called Zidane over, I reckon my family likely could not afford to compensate. After all, our family's finances had always been tight. I initially assumed I would get a scolding, judging from my father's expression. Smash them all, was all Zachary said instead, to my shock. What? I was slightly stunned. Zachary lit a cigarette and slowly exhaled a mouthful of smoke. I said, Smash. Since you're upset today, just smash if you want to. I'll support you whatever happens. With that, Zachary directly picked up the chair beside him and threw it toward a floor-to-ceiling window with all his strength. Smash. As the sound of glass cracking rang out, the floor-to-ceiling window of the hotel was smashed into pieces.